Hello and welcome to the stream today. I'm back doing 3D. I haven't done it for ages. As you probably, if you tuned in on Monday stream, I've been away for a couple of months. I've been very busy with freelance, marking, and moving house as well, and bringing a kitten home, who you probably saw in last stream. She's downstairs at the moment because she's been quite naughty with us in the office. Kitten's dream of just like trying to gnaw through all the wires and then gnaw through my hands as well, so I've had to put her downstairs for a bit because she's having that mad hour just after she's got up. So yeah, welcome back. I'm in my new office. Probably can't tell the difference because there's all the stuff behind is still there and all that. So yeah, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing some Cenotaph. I've pretty much finished doing the Club Soccer Director stuff. I'm mainly tidying stuff up now and fixing little problems and bugs and that sort of stuff, which is pretty much not very fun to watch on the stream. So I'm probably going to be doing some Cenotaph in the next couple of weeks. As well as maybe some ZBrush stuff, doing some stylized work at the moment as well. So yeah, we join us for that. And like I said, I upload this to Tablefoot Games' YouTube channel so that it's on there. So the last couple of months I've been uploading a backlog of Twitch stuff because obviously once after I think it's 2 months, Twitch deletes your videos unless you're, I think, a partner. So the 3D videos are going up on tablefootgames.co.uk, and the gameplay videos are going to be going up to a YouTube channel which is called Standby for Gaming. It's a new one that I just set up. It's more gaming orientated, so anything we do with gaming on this channel on the Twitch streams will go up to there. I uploaded the first Desperados playthrough of episode 1, which is the first 2 missions. So if you missed it on Monday, you can go up onto the YouTube and find that out. And yeah, I'm back. I don't know. Should be here all summer. I've got a load of tutorials to record that I need to, and this is a good way of doing it. And yeah, so I think we've Ross is in the chat as well. Hi Ross. Yeah, let's get to it. So it has been a while since I've picked up Cenotaph. Nearly 2 months, 3 months I think it is. So I just opened up May and I was like, what was I doing last time I picked this project up? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort out my camera because you don't need to see me that much. So the last thing I did was this side table, which I cannot remember doing. It's all UV'd and it's had its light map as well. So and I put it into scene. I put it into Unreal the other day just to see what I was doing in the scene. Realised that although it's a nice fancy table, it wasn't the size of the block out. So originally I had a table which was quite long so that I could populate it with different props and files and folders and photographs and that sort of stuff. Turns out this was very small, so I didn't follow the block out. So today I'm going to actually model another side table. So I'm going to still keep this because it's quite nice and detailed, and it's all done, ready to texture. But I'm going to actually model this one, which kind of fits what I need. So on one side of the room I'm going to have the one that I modelled before, and then on the other side, nearer to the door, I'm going to actually have this one. So that's the plan today, is to actually model this and go from there. So yeah, let's get started. And I've got 3 screens now, so I can just keep an eye on Twitch and the stream on my 3rd monitor, which is raised up about here if you saw my tweet the other day, and then I can have my reference open and I can still model, and I don't have to keep doing this to see what I want to do. So yeah. Okay. Oh, and another thing as well, this is completely different to what I've been doing for the last couple of months, so just bear with me, okay? And what I might do, I'm just going to put some music on. Let's pick something. So then one thing I am going to do a little bit different in these is I'm not actually going to have music playing on the stream, because obviously when I put it to YouTube, even though I'm using copyright free music, you never know, so I'm just not going to do it. So that's why there won't be any stream music. If it's a bit too quiet and you don't like it, let me know and I'll put the music back in. It's just for now. Plus, there's only so much royalty-free music I can listen to. Like, at the moment, I've got Spotify playing while I'm modelling, and it's, yeah, it keeps me a lot more focused, actually. But yeah, there's only so much copyright music you can listen to in a day. Okay. You can be a sim racer now with 3 screens. You've seen me racing. I suck at like proper racing. Like Forza Horizon, I love because it's very arcadey, but like any racing sim, but I'm not going to do very good. It's like me in fighting games; they just don't mix. So yeah, if you're new around here, do say hello. It's always good to have a bit of chat going on in the chat room. Normally, there's a lot of people who join in with the chat, which is great. I think the next milestone for this is Twitch partnership, and that requires stupid amounts. I think I managed to hit 2 out of 4, I think, but I know one of them is like something like 75, an average of 75 viewers per stream for 30 days, and it's just like, yeah, that's not going to happen for a while. I don't even think that's ever going to happen. But yeah, the kitten's good. She's been a little terror. She's finding herself, I think, and she's definitely using me and my partners as claws, and with the claws and that sort of stuff, which we're trying to not encourage, because her claws hurt. But yeah, she's settling in. She's eating good. She went to the vets the other day as well. Had a first round of shots and she was microchipped. So yeah, she's doing good. She's exploring. Like half an hour before the stream went live, she was in my office underneath my desk and would not come out. She definitely found the warmth and the cables enticing. Oh. So to begin with, I'm just going to do the base of it, and then I'll work from there basically. Ooh. Ugh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that is actually interesting. There's a bit in the chest of the side table cabinet here, and it's basically this is actually indented in. So this is one whole chunk, and then this has been it's been cut out and then it's been stuck in, and it's not a whole cylinder, it's just a quarter of a cylinder. No, I haven't seen that much. It also looks like it's one whole piece where the drawers go to. The kitten's also exploring the stairs at the moment, and we've got banisters with holes in it. I thought she'd just fallen down them. You might also get a bit of fan noise because it is warm here, so I've got a fan next to me, the Dyson fan. So yeah, I do apologise, but it's needed. So I can actually hide this now. This can be hidden because I've kind of got the rough size that I needed to kind of replicate the other one. Yeah, she's got to learn, hasn't she? Like, that's the thing. She's got to learn from her mistakes. She's also started climbing the settee and all that sort of stuff, so that's been interesting. Yeah, cats do have a lot of lives. Still, I don't really want to test that theory. That's roughly the size of one. How's Francesca, Ross? Has her leg healed all right? And with the cleanup tool as well, you can actually tell it to, yeah, so I know that's now clean, there's no engons there, which is good. That's good to hear that it's all healed. Not the nicest thing. How's Luna as well? How's she been? She's still causing trouble in the bin, or trying to open handles. Just gonna make this come out a little bit more, probably about there. So if we just undo that, you can see that's kind of got the angle I need for it. I'm just going to build these. For anybody, Luna is Ross's wolf cross breed dog. She has a habit of loving to go into the bins and also opening doors as well. Okay. So I'm not quite happy with that. So what I'm going to do is, if I press the right button, I think I just press the insert. I'm actually going to get a cylinder and shape it to the rough size that I need it. Something rough like that. Where'd you send it? I'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay, so there's that. So I can actually. I'll have to wait a minute because I think it's still uploading. The only thing I don't like about deleting cylinders before I finish thingy is just like if you do it the method that I use, where it's basically the cylinder and then you extrude, pull it out to how you want it. Trying to do that on just on a quarter is a pain in the backside. So best thing to do is to actually get the shape that you want first and then delete the sides that you don't need. It's the easiest way of doing it. So kind of let's do that. That is definitely, I do apologise, that is one thing you're going to have to live with, because my office in my old house was behind the house and it was off the main road. But my office is at the front of the house now, which is directly on a main road, so I do apologise for any passing cars and vehicles and people talking. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I could shut the window, but it is boiling in this room, so I'm not going to. So yeah, I'll just apologise now. Oh no, still not come through. I'll keep waiting. Okay, let's just highlight that. So we don't need this top one, because now I think there's a lorry reversing, so this is going to be real fun. I'm just going to attach these both together, combine. And what I'm going to do is duplicate it and then flip it in the Y. There we go, it's just come through, Ross. I'll have a look in a minute. So yeah, so we've got this now. Just going to merge this, and I'm just going to bring this in slightly because I think it was a bit too extreme. And I'm also going to bring this up so it's there. So there we go. We've got that first one in. Like I said, for the time being, I'm going to keep it a whole, and then I'm going to delete it after I've got everything and change some of the sizes around and that sort of stuff. So the next thing I said was I wasn't happy with this this bit here. Now, the thing with this bit is that, yeah, okay, eventually I'm going to start to triangulate to save polys and optimize it, but while I'm baking and doing high poly modeling, you want to keep things in quads because it's just easier to work with, basically. So if you were to do like a sub D on this to get kind of nice soft edges, it's a lot easier to sub D a quad than it is a triangle. So, okay, let's have a look at this video. Oh wow, yeah, she is proper howling. Oh, bet she's been warming that fur over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so yeah, so the next bit is, let's do the cutout. Shall I do the cutout here? Or not? Sorry, I know you're not supposed to touch your face at the moment, but oh my god. Allergies are playing up today. Okay, let's do the drawers. And wherever possible, I try and work on grid. Sometimes that is completely off and I completely forget, and I just, yeah. The majority of times I will try and work on the grid so that if I have anything snapping or anything like that, then thingy. She loves sunbathing, seriously. Yeah, but she's got so much fur. Like, I know Zelda the other day when she was lying on a bed, she kept moving every time the sun moved so that she could sunbathe. I think that's Abdul, right? Yeah. Hi, Abdul. But yeah, Zelda, she was just like, she sleeps a lot as well, which is quite interesting because it's I like my sleep. She actually fell asleep on me last night while I was downstairs watching TV. See if I can. I don't think you'll be able to see that, but yeah, she fell asleep on me. So even though she has a mad hour where she's biting and swiping and everything like that, she does like her cuddles. Oh, thanks, Abdul. Yeah, everything at once. Thought I may as well do it all at once. Yeah. Abdul, are you looking forward to starting the Masters? Um, I wouldn't expect anything really different other than a lot of the sessions is probably going to be online. Um, like in terms of kind of like how we're running it and stuff like that, is there is going to be times when you can go and use the labs. So if you haven't got a piece of software maybe, or your computer isn't up to scratch, there's going to be allotted times for you guys to go in and use the labs for that equipment. In terms of teaching wise, any taught sessions, so any sessions where I'm kind of like doing a lecture or reviewing work is probably going to be online, because even if we do review of work in class, I can't be any more, I have to be 1 meter away from you. So I can't actually come and like show you on the mouse how to do something, so it's going to have to be through Discord probably. Actually, it is. It's going to be through Discord, that sort of thing, one-to-one supervision. We are going to be able to. You are going to be able to make appointments to see us in person as well, which is what we're going to be sorting out over the summer. The system that we're going to implement for that. The group project is going to be a little bit different, I think, as well. Mainly, it's going to be the same. Actually, it's not going to be different. We're going to run it like we did this semester, where we actually. They got loads of. We ran it all on Discord. They did playtesting through Steam, and because it was a multiplayer game that they made, they actually didn't upload it to Steam, but they used the Steam's cross-platform cross-play thing, and we were able to like kind of play through Steam with each other because it was a multiplayer game. So there's lots of different solutions around how to kind of play test together and how to kind of like work together online. So we've already shown that it works this semester. So we're just going to continue it next semester as well. And then obviously once we start to phase back into face-to-face teaching fully, it'll just be the same. Yeah, you're not going to miss out or anything. You're going to still see my ugly face, whether it's on Discord or in person. So yeah, ugly mug. And like I said, I got rid of the research heavy module. So no more of that. It's all about your portfolio. And there's quite a few current students who've applied as well from the third year this year. I think four of them have applied. You might know some of them. So, and Stefan has applied as well. So. Not sure whether I can say or not. Right, so what is up with you? Why are you causing me issues? Mail will always... You'll always find issues, but Mail will never tell you what the issue is. Unless you do a cleanup and stuff like that. See? So it was that top one which wasn't straight, so that's why it was like having the smallest gap in between it. Okay, so this one's a little bit weird. So this has actually got a lip on the front of the design, the drawer. I mean, they're all good anyway, so we've had quite a good third year this year. How's the rest of the people? How's Gonzalez and Adrian? What, Adrian's toxic? No, never. Is he playing Call of Duty at the moment? All right. Is he giving up on Call of Duty? I mean, last night I wasn't raging, but I was so close to getting a nuke 3 times. So I got a 21 kill streak. So the first one was on shipment, and it was a 23 kill streak, so I was 2 off a nuke. And then the second time it was on the new map, Cheshire something. And that was 21 kills, and then just before I went to bed there was another one, 21 kills. I was so gutted. Is he any good at those games? I don't know. I don't know what is the Valorant. How long I survived? Yeah, I don't know how I survived that long. I managed to get to a certain point. Like I managed to kill quite a lot in the first. Like I got the 12 kills quite quickly, just using sightlines. And then I dived into one of the containers and just hid there and waited for people to spawn around me. And then they got me with a Molotov. So they didn't even shoot me. They had to use a Molotov. I know. Cheshire, the new map. There's some really cool sightlines from the Allegiance side. and everybody rushes to the market to get a good sniper spot, and you can just pick them off as soon as they get into place. And there's a small, tiny gap they can see you, but you can see quite a bit of them. Yeah, they've always been a pain. Shipment spawns have, like, I don't know why people rave about that map, because it's always been a pain to play. Like, out of the smaller maps, Shoothouse is a good map. I enjoy that. Rust, I enjoy Rust. I think it's a little bit less chaotic spawns, even though it's about the same. It's a little bit bigger than Shipment, but I think you can at least escape sometimes. And out of the new maps, smaller maps, I prefer Shoothouse over any of them that they've done. The new map actually is quite good. I like it. It's 3 lanes, which is Call of Duty all over. I don't think they'll ever change. Favorite Cod map? Oh, I Crash I enjoy. And I think there was a lot of good maps in Call of Duty 4. Not the original. I thought there was a lot of good maps in there. Overgrown I used to enjoy if I was in a sniper mood. I don't tend to like any of the Black Ops maps. I don't tend to like Black Ops, to be honest. It's alright. The campaigns are alright. I just don't like the multiplayer. I don't think it's as solid and fluid. And saying that, like, the amount of glitches happened last night, one of the guys I was playing with, all his textures didn't load, so he could see through walls, but he didn't know the walls were there. So, like, he'd try and shoot and he'd just hit the wall, and he's just like, ah. But yeah, no, Overgrown was good. I like Crash. Crash is always gonna have. Out of the newer maps for the new one, is it Ramazia? I like. It's pretty decent. Piccadilly's alright. I know people don't like it, but Piccadilly's alright. And I like Hackney Yard as well. That's a good map as well. Can't stand Arkloff Peak because it's just too big for the numbers on a 6v6. 10v10 it's alright, but a 6v6 it's just disgusting. Okay, so I'm actually gonna get rid of these center lines, and hopefully this works. So if I get those, I can get the bend, because it's flush there. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw that out. Because I'm just going to extrude these. Other than that, I've been playing Desperados 3, which I played on stream, and I'm going to be doing a playthrough of that, full playthrough. If you've ever played, what was it called? Commandos, and really like that game, you'll love Desperados 3, because it's pretty much Commandos but cowboys. Which is pretty cool. and finally got round to properly playing Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park Evolution. Just going to boot up Steam now. Evolution. Jurassic Park Evolution, which really cool, fun game to play while you're kind of just chilling out and stuff like that, or you're doing other stuff and you want to just play around, have something on in the background. It's quite good. Oh, it's brilliant. Commandos is brilliant. Like, I loved it. That's one of the games that I really played. Commandos 2, I played to death. It was really cool. So yeah, basically that's what Desperados 3 is Commandos, but with cowboys. So yeah, probably not the game that you'd want to play if you weren't good at it. Quite deep draws these are. I need to get back to World of Warcraft if Ross is still there. I know we've got some we need to do the dungeons. Combine these, and then we're going to merge them. Yep. The only good thing about at the moment is I know I haven't played World of Warcraft for a bit, but at least I've got a level 120 character now, so when the new expansion comes out I won't have to like grind or use a boost or anything like that. Oh, hello, whoever's just joined the stream. Today I am currently modelling this side table for the Cenotaph scene, the poet's study. Had a slight problem, which the original side table that I built was a bit too small, so yeah. So I want to make this, and then yeah, I might make it with three doors instead of 2 doors, so it just kind of like brings it out a little bit, and I can have more space to put like random stuff on it and stuff that the player needs to interact with and find, because it is, at the end of the day, it is a puzzle game. So yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay, so that's that. I just need to duplicate this. there's about that sort of gap in between on both sides. And then I'd say the door is roughly about that size. Let's grab the square. So all of this will be on YouTube, over on Table Flip Games YouTube, which actually we hit a milestone. We were able to monetize the videos now, and make a little bit of ad revenue from that, which every little helps, especially with it helps with development costs, it helps with software licenses, it just generally helps in general. Me and Tommy don't take any money out personally for ourselves. It all goes back into the company, and it all goes back into our projects, into our software licenses, into creating content for everybody that watches. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've got a full-time job still at the university, because then I don't have to worry about making money through YouTube. I can just do it to kind of help you guys with learning and looking at some cool projects and playing games and that sort of stuff. Okay, so this one's going to be a bit weird. Gonna need two of these. So I want the door to sit flush, because it does look like it sits flush, other than the hinges that sit here. Sorry. So it should look flush like that, and then the hinges are here and here. There we go, here and here on the model. So I need the door to sit flush. And one thing I do need to do is just make this slightly bigger, because there is actually a pattern. So inside the door, you've got the pattern, which is here. So if I show this, you can see you've got this here. So I want to actually create this indent. And then the door actually sits flush with the drawers. So there's no like indent, or there's no going inwards or outwards. It sits flush with the hinges outside. So we're going to do that. But first we're going to actually make the pattern, which is here. So best thing to do is to duplicate the square, center the thingy, and just kind of roughly guess the width of this. So I think it's something around there, maybe, yeah, something like that. And then I can actually difference this, so Boolean difference. So then I've got this kind of indent already there, and then I can start to extrude this. Just before I do that, I'm just going to clean this up, because at the moment it's an n-gon. Hopefully see, yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extrude. Let's bevel that. Let's add the okay, so that should be fine. And then if we grab this face and just slightly extrude it, there you go. And there's that pattern. Now the only issue is I think this door's a little bit too big. So So I'm just going to bring it slightly in, and I'm just going to extend it up a little bit like that. And grab this. Now I'm working on this. This is kind of like a high poly at the moment, which is going to be the base for the low poly anyway. I don't think I'm going to need to do much baking. The only thing I'm going to need to bake is the pattern work inside of here, because it's going to go inwards, and I want to get that bake, and I don't want to kind of have it as a I don't want that in the low poly, so I'm going to have to model that. But it's just easier, and then you can optimize at the end when before you UV. You can optimize what you've been making. So there's the door, and then I'm just going to create a back to it as well, because if the player opens it, it may never get opened. It may, in the final design, this may never be opened, but you don't want to risk that, because you may as well build it all as one, and then go from there basically, because like you never know what's going to happen. You may get asked, oh, it needs to be opened, and it's like you haven't built an interior for it. So okay, so this one's going to be a little bit different. So I'm actually going to reverse the normals. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to now this is probably going to be this face here needs to go, because in these sort of cabinets you probably have like maybe this bit, which is kind of like, so it's either like I don't think you would though, not with this. You wouldn't have that centerpiece in there. You would just have the two doors. Actually, yeah, you would. But it wouldn't be that much. And then cut that out. Get rid of that. I'm just going to fill this hole. So I think if you, there you go, you can just click fill holes and it does it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so it's temperamental. If not, use a pen polygon. If not, extrude edge. All three methods work the same way, just what a fill hole and a pen polygon is quicker than extrude edge. Also, fill hole and append merges the vertices as well, so it's, yeah, a little bit easier. Okay, so the reason why I've put this kind of middle post in is there, here we go. There is no middle post. I am going to put one in because, like I said, we're going to have it so it's like 4 doors basically. So it's a little bit bigger. Just going to insert the Edgeloop. So the plan is to get this modelled in this stream. and then in the next stream I'll UV it, and then after that I'll texture it, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to combine these together, and I'm making sure that I merge the vertices as well. I think that's right, yeah. I'll just delete the faces you don't need, so we don't need those faces. Just make sure I merge them. It's the same with this side as well. I don't need those. There you go, that's fine. I'm going to keep a gap here. I don't want it going fully all the way to the back, because then you're going to get flickering on the back side of it. Even though this is going to go flush against the wall, again, it's one of those, you may as well enclose it all, because what if you want to like tip it over and then you haven't designed it in such a, so a level designer wants to tip it over. I think Ross might be able to attest to this. Like if you get an asset as a level designer, and it's not like if you want to tip it over, but because the artists have kind of like deleted the polygons, you're going to have backface culling issues, and you're going to be able to see through the mesh. They did this in Battlefield 3 on the vending machines inside of Metro. A level designer must have tipped it over and gone, that's fine, and then not realised that the artist has deleted the face underneath, so that you could see all the way through the vending machine, this solid object. So it's just easier just to close things off, because polygons isn't the biggest problem nowadays in terms of budget constraints for computers. We've all seen these tech demos. It really isn't the problem. The problem is shaders and VFX. That's the bottleneck nowadays, is those two. Yeah, see, Ross had that issue today. So artists, just close things up. Or ask your designers, or environment, or games designers, or level designers, or whoever's building the levels. If you're not building levels and you're doing 3D, ask them if they want all the faces intact, or should they optimize. To be fair, I tend to optimize after the fact. So for example, if I'm doing mobile, I'll build high quality and then I'll strip down. Just because I find it a lot of it easier than kind of like working low. It's very hard to go low to high, but it's easy to go high to low. So yeah, I mean it's a good reference to use, because it just shows the perfect example of teams not communicating with each other and things getting into a game that shouldn't really be in. You shouldn't be letting those things through, because they're so easy to fix, and they're so easy, as long as you plan, they're easy to fix, or they're easy to maintain. It's just, yeah, it's communication at the end of the day. Okay. The only thing I'm not happy with this door is the thickness. That thickness is, after looking at the reference, it doesn't look right. So we're gonna bring the thickness down a little bit. It's still fine, and I mean it'll still rotate here like that. Okay, I'm gonna create a fresh one out of here. Okay, I want that to hit the center, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on, all I did there was I went into the options tab for insert Edgeloop tool, and it brings up the settings, and then I'm just going to do multiple Edgeloop at one, and it gives me half the door, which is not what I want really. Okay, I'm just going to undo that. Maths. Okay, so that's fine. I am gonna do that though. And what I'm gonna do is, let me just. So okay, it's bigger than the reference, but I know structurally it'll work. It's quite a solid object, and I want it to be bigger because I need it to stretch along quite a big percentage of the wall. I do tell students to kind of always work off reference, try and find these kind of items. Try not to make things up, but I think as long as things structurally make sense, then I think it's fine to make things up. I think if you base it off real world information and that sort of stuff, characters is exact same. Even if it's a fantasy creature, it's going to resemble some sort of human creature. What am I on about? Some form of creature that's in the wildlife. Because you need it to be believable. You need it for the user, the player, the audience to understand that this is okay. This is a fantasy creature, but it uses the same movement as a lion, or it has the same bone structure of a hyena, but it's fancy and it's got all these like kind of horns and that sort of stuff. And if I find it in a bit, I'll show you the one of my master students this year who did a quite cool not lion. It's like a hyena bone creature, but yeah, it has the kind of same characteristics of like a leopard and that sort of stuff. The only difference is with that the hinges would move that way, so that you could open the drawers. So where you put the pivot is very important with these sort of things. You always put it where you need it to rotate around, basically. So door pivots, bottom corner normally, or halfway up, depending on how you're going to snap it to the environment. But yeah, as long as it's in the correct place so that you can maybe animate it inside of blueprints to open and shut. Or you could rig it if you really wanted to. Bit of an overkill, but fair enough. Okay. Don't think so. No, I don't think we'll be going to China anytime soon because of the pandemic. Not because it's China, it's mainly because of the travel restrictions, and the university also shut down all international travel for staff to be safe, basically. I was supposed to go out in November last year. Unfortunately, I couldn't because I couldn't travel because of my back. I did my back in. I had quite a few weeks of chiropractor and yeah, physio. So, but if it resumes again, then yeah, we'll be going back out to teach. Okay, let's do the top bit and then we can sort this all out. Okay, that's a bit of a weird one. It looks like it goes up, in, no, up, out, yeah. No. Anybody who's just joined in just sees me doing this, and it's me figuring out the shapes. It's me trying to figure out how a shape works basically in 3D space, because I'm looking at the reference now on the other screen, I'm trying to figure out like how I can translate that into 3D, and then I'll do it, and I'll probably have to do it again, but it's thinking. Yeah, I did my back in moving in my old place. So when I was younger, I slipped over on my back. I didn't break anything, but it did cause a lot of issues with my lower back. And ever so often I kind of get these bouts of really bad backs. And last September, when I moved into my previous place, which I've just moved out of, moving all the furniture and doing stuff that I don't tend to normally do, just kind of threw it out, and I was in pain for weeks. At one point I had to go to the minor injuries ward unit up in Ely. And that was mainly because I hadn't registered with the doctor in Royston, and I needed to get painkillers, and I couldn't get an appointment quite very quickly at the doctor's, so I had to go up and get painkillers. And then I went to see a chiropractor in Cambridge, who was brilliant. His name's Jack Keller, and yeah, he sorted me out, and I was going to him until March this year. But yeah, really good chiropractor. Yeah, but simple thing, and then the turning point where it just went downhill was I was just putting some duvets up at the top of the wardrobe, and instead of getting a step ladder or doing it, I was like, oh, I can just do it, and I heard it. I just felt it go, and then I was just like, oh, I couldn't move. But yeah. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit weird, a little bit harder to do, but I can do it. Because the plan is to do this. It's like people join and then they're like, oh, he's talking about random shit, and then leave. It's like, thanks for that. Are you streaming anymore, Abdul? Because I did manage to catch one of your streams, which was you playing Rainbow Six Siege, which I haven't played in months, since Call of Duty came out. Oh, it's a shame. Touch wood, the internet here, and I think the stream's been all right today, hasn't it? It's been fine. We're running at 60 frames a second, with about 282 frames, like 0.1 error margin on it. So yeah, like I know at the start of the lockdown, I was getting a lot of issues with streaming, and I think that's just because generally the internet was being rinsed, wasn't it, from everybody. But we have upgraded to 350 meg. Let's do a speed test. See, I know all my students say that they get to the point where they're like they go off and do something else, and as a professional as well, I still do the same. I get distracted. Well, that's when I carry on. That's so cool. I love it. Like, internet companies are like, yeah, get up to 350 meg, and then it's like 50 meg. Yeah, great. Thanks there, Virgin. Thanks for that. I mean, if you want to join us on a stream, if you want to join us on like if you've got Call of Duty or anything, I'm up for that. The only thing is, I don't think I have Rainbow Six on PC. Actually, I'll send you an invite to our Discord that we use, or if you visit the Standby for Gaming YouTube channel. Our Discord link is in there, and it's that's where we kind of like play games. There's a group of us, the current master students, who are on there as well. I play Call of Duty with a few of them. Ross is on there as well. That might be a bit too extreme. There we go. Really? Oh, I forgot to merge the bits. Thank you for that. Fair enough. Yeah, because you're a PS4 player, aren't you? So I don't actually own a PS4. And instead of having to kind of like do all that stuff, I can just do this and flip it, and there you go. I think it's still a bit too extreme, so I'm just gonna squash it down a little bit, so it's a bit like that, and then reattach it there. I just I'm not really fussed about it. What I might do is watch a playthrough. That's what I did with The Last of Us 1. Even though I did own a PS3, just time constraints, just trying to get through something that big is just, yeah, just not going to happen. So probably no. And the games that I really want to play is Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's coming on PC. And the other one that was a PlayStation 4 exclusive, which was not Beyond Two Souls, but the guys who made that. Detroit Become Human. Yeah, is out on PC now, so. I'm guessing you got it. Any good? Yeah, I really do want to play Detroit. I was thinking of actually doing it on stream. Yeah, good single player game. I heard a lot of people, yeah, there's like petitions to change some of the stuff, and it's just like, okay, cool. You're not going to please everybody. You're really not going to please everybody. And if you think you can, yeah, just don't. Okay, I'm just going to sort out the optimization on these things, because at the moment they're a little bit funky. Lots of faces with their faces, so that's fine. Just going to have a look at the cleanup as well. So like that, I don't need that. And then at the same time, what's up with you? There. There you go, perfect. Just make sure all the verts are merged. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so no, that one's fine. That one's fine. No, that one's fine. It's fine. And another good time to delete geometry and faces is when you're UVing as well. Cool. So I'm actually going to just combine these all together. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this, so I'm going to duplicate it. What I did there was I moved the pivot to here, and then what I'm going to do is, oh yeah, I've also got the added ambience of the train line because it is in the next street over there, so cool. Anyway, so yeah, so all I did there was I duplicated it and then flipped it in the x-axis, so then I can see. I'm just going to do the same with all of these pieces. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to UV one side and then flip it on the bits that I can. So the cupboards, the doors, they're all fine because they're not going to be too much of an issue. But like for this, you want this as one whole piece along here because if you've got a scratch, you want it to flow nicely and you don't want any different resolutions in there. So for this one, let me just get rid of that. I'm just going to actually duplicate it and flip it. And this is just so that I can actually get this into Engine and see what it looks like, because that's one thing a lot of people don't do, is get it into Engine and see what it's going to look like basically in the scene. Is it too big? Is it too wide? All those sort of factors come into play. Again, I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm just putting -1 in the y-axis, and then the same on top as well. So let's just unhide this one. And there you go. So that is quite big and I'm just going to group it and call this side. Actually, what is it called? It's called sideboard. Large. And the reason why I've done that is so that you can I can start to name this anyway. Okay, Abdul, nice chatting to you. I'll probably see you around. This was the high poly. It's like we use it. It's going to be called the low poly for now. Sorry there, I was just having a chat to my partner. She's on her way out, and yeah, she's asking me to feed the kitten when she wakes up. Okay, so we've pretty much got this. Okay. What did I do? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get it into Engine and just see what it looks like. Just going to hide that. First thing I am going to do is I'm just going to do a very cheaty way of doing a UV. So I'm just going to automatic map it and just leave it, and then I'm just going to create a light map for it. You need to make sure that it's selected there, and then I'm just going to do a layout on it. And this is just so that there's already a light map on there, so when I try and bake the lighting inside of Unreal, it's not going to screw up basically. Hang on, which layout am I doing? It's not what I wanted. Actually, yeah, that is what I wanted. I'm just going to do it to 128 there. There you go. What that means is that there's 2 pixels. Oh, it's because I haven't worked on this project for ages, so I need to actually change the calculation, because at the moment this isn't the correct calculation for the grid size. So it's what happens when you don't work on something for ages. Let me remember this: 0.0078125. That is 128 divided by 1, and that will give you 0.0078125. And that's not, I'm not a maths genius, that's just ingrained in my memory. Okay, so now it's 2 pixels away. Okay, and we're just gonna export this. Side, board, large. Let's open up Unreal. Yes, Unreal is not just the Fortnite launcher. You can actually launch an engine from it as well. So at the moment, Cenotaph's still in 4.23. We'll probably eventually go to 4.25 eventually. To be fair, there's no programming in the project at the moment, so there's no like code or gameplay, so we can upgrade whenever really. It's just the server that we keep the SVN on at the moment is down, so I don't really want to try and make any drastic changes until that's up, so that I can back up the work on one of our servers. As you can see, source control is down at the moment. Down. Poet study. Okay, yeah, there you go. You can see, like, I was like, oh. And then I've now got all this floating geometry. Anyway, I'm just going to fix it now. So I'm just going to import this. I may have to disconnect source control if this doesn't work. But yeah, I think I managed to model that. Let's. Okay, those are going to get reduced a lot. So yeah, don't worry about it. I just want to see what it looks like in engine with these on. Sorry. Okay, so let's put those in the low poly. Get rid of that. I will do the handles eventually, but that requires a little bit more time, and I want to wrap this up in a couple of minutes anyway. So, okay, so I've got those there. subview. Okay, so let's try this again. I'm gonna change source control, run without source control. So until I can connect back to the server, I'm just gonna run it without source control. Unfortunately, it's alright. So there's two ways. Yes, it is. Sorry, I think I've said it in other videos, and it's just it's imprinted in my memory now, so I forget to say it is important to export from 0, 0. It's also important to export where you want the pivot is. So at the moment, I've put that pivot in the bottom corner here at 0, 0. And what I've done is I've frozen the transformations and I've deleted the history. Sometime, if I was to, for example, so let's just import that in so you can see it. Now it depends on the project, because sometimes, say for example, if you're making an oval room, or you're making a room that's contained within itself, you might want to put the pivot actually at the center of the room, so when you bring it into the engine and plot it in, it just goes where it is in Maya. This is very good if you're doing like cylindrical rooms, and if you want to have like if it's like a snapping point going all the way around, you probably want the pivot of that object in the center, and then you can rotate like a modular wall around that center bit. I know a student did that a couple of years ago when he did like a scene from Star Wars when they're in the oval room. And yeah, it all depends on the project and what you're working on. Now I tend to, because I'm set dressing inside the engine, I want the pivot where I need it to snap or where I want it to kind of go. Another good place for pivots, yeah, like animation, it's very key to have your character set up at the center of the world before you even rig. So before you rig, your character should be at the center of the world at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, because it's X, Y, and Z. And it should have freeze transformations, delete history, and with characters, I tend to put the pivots on the bottom. So if you've got a character, this is a stickman character, the pivot would be in between the legs at the bottom, so that the pivot is at the center of the world. I think that's probably the best place to do, especially with animations, because animations, you don't want to be trying to freeze the transformations after you've animated and rigged it, because it's going to break your rig and it's going to break your animations, and you just can't do it. You can delete history after animation. So say for example you need to change some UVs, you can do, but with May you've got the history stack. You can delete non-deforming history. It's temperamental. It is very temperamental, so it's best to have UVs done before the animation process, but sometimes that's not possible. Maybe the riggers and the animators need that model before you've kind of fully UV'd it properly. If that's the case, then make sure that you wait until you get the model back from animation and rigging. So the problem we had with the master students this year was one of the students didn't finish the animation, the UVing, or needed to change it because it wasn't very good or something like that. Gave the model, but the rigging and animator needed the model, so he gave the model to the rigger and animator, and then carried on UVing on the old model, and then thought why the UVs were different on the rigged and animated model that was in game. And it's like, yeah, you need to, it's a pipeline. You need to make sure you communicate with each other. But yeah, Ross is completely correct there. It's lots of issues can happen when with animating stuff if it's not 0, 0. Again, it all depends on what you're doing and with the environment stuff. Like, general rule of thumb, you want to put walls and floors at the bottom so you can snap them together. Track, for example, would be good at certain points, snapping points. I'm guessing tracks are made using a spline system. If you don't know what a spline system is, just type in spline racing track Maya or Unreal. There's actually a cool spline creation thing that you can make that allows you to build objects along the curve inside of Unreal. I know a few companies a few companies that use that. But yeah, it all depends on the project and that sort of stuff. But anyway, so if I just import this, okay. Really? What's up with you? Don't know what's up with you, but you can just do this. That fixes that issue. Oh god, I have not used Unreal in ages. Okay, cool. Okay. So there's my sideboard. So let's get this inside the scene. You can see that it's now, the pivot is exactly where I imported it. It's at the bottom back corner, left-hand corner. It's not over here, and it's not over here. It's where I actually left it inside of Maya. And the reason why I can do this is because Unreal has actually got the same snapping, not the same snapping system, but it has got a vertice snapping system. There you go. Okay, that's a bit, yeah. We'll ignore that bit. I still need to do the doors. I keep forgetting about the doors. I will do those next, I think. But yeah, so there's that sideboard I made. So in the next one, I'll UV it and texture it, and then we'll move on to the doors. I think we need to still texture this as well. So if I get a chance this week, I might texture that off screen. I might use this as an example, or this one actually in a new tutorial. But yeah, it's nearly there. We've also got some sequencer stuff in here. I can show you. So this is Unreal's like cinematic editor. I had to do a video for this a couple of months ago, so you can see. So I've got these chairs to do, and a typewriter. Got a lot left to do. And this is all using these kind of track systems. So if we play this again, you'll see the tracks working. It's really cool. Yeah. And also as well with these cameras, the Cine cameras, you can have them react to these things, empty game objects. So if, for example, you want it to always look at a certain object, and this can be attached to a character, so you can have it always looking at a character. So you could technically do a one-camera scene. I wouldn't recommend it because, like in film, you have a lot of cameras that you can cut to. Although if you did see 1917, that was a really good example of one camera and lots of different cuts to kind of like merge it, feel like it's just one camera following these characters. But yeah, so it's one of those where you can use it to look at an actor, or you can look at a character that's doing a bit of dialogue, or say you've got some kind of dynamic fighting scene, you can actually have it look at one character and then have another camera tracking another character, and you can switch and cut things together inside of here, just like Premiere Pro basically, in terms of cutting the movie together. So you can actually cut a cutscene together in Engine without having to then like render one shot, render two shots, 3, 4, 5, 6. This can all be one continuous shot. Yeah, I am. I'm still not 100% happy with it. I think it needs a bit more blues in there. And I think I'm not quite happy with the ceiling. I think it's a bit too white. It might need to be wood panels instead of plaster. I think, yeah, with everything else that's in there, I think it needs to be wood. Yeah, and I mean, I can play around with it. There's my post. I think, yeah. I think it definitely needs a little bit more blue in there. I haven't quite had a play around with any of the ray tracing stuff at the moment. Yeah, definitely. This is going to be, the lights are actually going to be like a metal light, and then the light's going to be inside of it. So that's going to help a bit. I think at the moment that it's very bright. I think there's not a lot of dark areas, which is kind of needed in this. So yeah, this is going to be light, a light lampshade to kind of dim it. But until I get that mesh in there, I can't really play around with it yet. I will be. We'll be looking at it. I think, yeah, I think these lights are a bit too bright, even though they don't cast too much. I think as well. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, don't do that. Let's not play around with ray tracing. Yeah, I don't know whether we're going to have to switch the room layout. It all depends when we start to kind of add gameplay elements in there and just see how the player kind of walks around it. It may change, it may not, I don't know. I'm not happy with this material roughness. I think there needs to be more variation in it. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, and that was just a simple. You can see all these propagation values. I did a little bit of blueprinting scripting. That's turning down the cube map to like 1, and there is this. So I've got some lookup tables. HDRIs. And a cinematic. No, I think it might be. Here we go. So this was a really good stock 14. For color grading. There's loads of other different types like film. So you can kind of go with a kind of like quite stylized looking stuff. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said at the start of the video, we've got so this is going to be uploaded to YouTube, to the Table Flip Games YouTube account, so do feel free to go over there and have a look at any videos. We've got quite a few videos on programming, finite state machines and AI, and all that sort of and we've also got some tutorials on like taking a prop from design to texturing and rendering. And yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing more gameplay playthroughs and that sort of stuff, and that's going to be uploaded to Standby Gaming. And yeah, thank you for watching the stream, and I'll see you in the next one.